Welcome back to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from day 3 of the Singapore Fintech Festival. And joining me for this segment, we have Barry Libenson. He's the Global Chief Information Officer over at Experian, and we're going to learn about his 2020 Fintech Predictions. Barry, it's great to have you with us on set at the Fintech Festival. And you were part of an exciting panel today, Hunt or Be Hunted. That's a great name for a panel, staying ahead of cybersecurity. Could you walk us through some of the key themes from the panel?
Yeah, it was an interesting audience and an interesting panel. There were a number of folks that are in the security space providing products. We were one of the few companies that actually is in the business of holding people's personal information. So there was a lot of discussion around the most effective ways to protect your information, sort of some of the shortfalls that people have in their organizations, and sort of some of the trends around machine learning and artificial intelligence that we see emerging around security technology.
All right, and in addition to cybersecurity, digital transformation is something that all businesses continue to grapple with. I feel like there's a lot of hype around that term, digital transformation, but why is it so important for businesses, and why is it so challenging?
Yeah, I agree with you that it's sort of an overused term, but I think it's important that companies are sort of making this transition away from bricks and mortar, typical ways of doing business, and really sort of digitizing how they interact with customers. And I think that level of focus is really important, especially if you look at the demographic of consumers and the way people are using products and technology these days. Everything is sort of moving to a digital way of doing things. And a lot of companies sort of resisted that change and are now sort of doing the fast catch-up. I think companies that sort of recognized this years ago and started their journey have a significant advantage over those that haven't. And
part of that is transitioning over to the cloud. You've been with Experian for nearly 5 years and spearheaded that effort to lead the company to the cloud. Are there any tips or pieces of advice that you would give for businesses that were in that position?
Yeah, I think it's really important to recognize that the cloud is just another tool, but it's a very effective tool for dealing with things like scaling, for velocity and speed, and also it's as our customers are moving to the cloud, we think it's important that we are also using the same types of technology that they are. So looking at this and understanding how you're going to take products that traditionally would run in your own data center and either turn them into hybrid products that can run in your own data center or in the cloud, or basically run exclusively in the cloud is incredibly important to anybody who's delivering products. It's really about what the customer wants. So our strategy is really focused on allowing our technology stack to run wherever the customer wants it to run, whether that's in their data center, our data center, or in the cloud. And that may mean AWS, it may mean Azure, it may mean the Google Cloud. That total level of flexibility is going to be very important going forward.
All right, now looking into 2020, I can't believe we're talking about 2020 already. In fact, they just announced the Fintech Festival for 2020, the dates next year. What are your top 3 predictions that you're looking at for the world of fintech next year?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the topics that we're talking about today are still going to be relevant 12 months from now. I would say things like machine learning and artificial intelligence. We're at the very beginning phases of this technology really being deployed on a large scale. The expertise is starting to come into the market for people to do things in ways that they haven't done them before. So I think that'll continue to be a top of mind topic. I think the other is, cybersecurity will continue to be a very relevant topic. And then I think trying to predict the third most relevant thing would be a bit difficult because the world is moving so quickly and technology is moving so quickly. We may be talking about something 12 months from now that we haven't even seen on the horizon yet. So I would nail down those first 2 and say they're both going to be top of mind. The third one I'm going to take a pass on trying to predict and just say it's probably an unknown right now.
All right, Barry, thanks so much for joining us at the Fintech Festival.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me throughout the day on Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.